I don't like to call these products. I like to call these ministry resources. That I sell for a profit. So, and I promise, just so I want you to know this, and Don, I hope you're listening. Well, I know you're listening, but I want you to know I'm going to make this quick, very quick, because I did not come here to do this, okay? So I just want to just very briefly say, these are comedy DVDs that I have. I have two of them. This is the elder of the two. This one, Bananas, it's a TV show, and this is was my show on that one. Oh, yeah, look at there. We got nice big, you can see it. And this is, and by the way, it's 6 or 7 years old, but what I've discovered with people is if you don't have it, it's like brand new. And this is a DVD that I did with a joint project I did with my buddy, Ken Davis. Do we have any Ken Davis fans here tonight, by any chance? Okay, six of you. I want you, you guys, Ken Davis fans, I want you to know that for me, it's just such a delight to be here tonight without him. So, but Ken's a marvelous communicator and comic, and this is called Ken Davis and Bob Stromberg Together Again for the First Time. So, very proud of this. It has lots of good stuff on it. And this is probably the nicest thing that I've ever put together for folks. This is a book called The Miracle at Stinky Bay. It's a story from my life and my dad's life. It's illustrated by my son, Nate, who is a teacher here in town, teaches at Minnehaha Academy. And every page is beautifully illustrated. This is a true story, and I won't perform this story tonight because, again, I didn't come here to do this. But I'll just tell you this story so you know what it is. And I'll tell it to you quickly. True story. My dad and I, when I was a boy, growing up in north central Pennsylvania, I always wanted to go fishing in northern Ontario because we could catch little fish where I lived in Pennsylvania, but not big ones, not like we can around here in Minnesota. You couldn't catch pike, couldn't catch walleye where I grew up because we didn't have them. We only had streams. We didn't have lakes. But my uncles every year came back with ice chests full of these big fish. And when I was 9, my dad said, "Bobby, I think this is our summer." And sure enough, we went, and with my uncles. We were 3 days into a 7-day trip, and none of us had even gotten a bite, except for my one uncle who caught a beaver. But other than that, and it was surprisingly bland tasting, really. So. That is not true. Oh, gee. It was quite good. But my dad said to my uncles, "I'm going to take Bobby over to Stinky Bay." It wasn't actually a bay. It was a lake, but it was called Stinky Bay. And we left before the sun came up, and we got to this lake right at sunrise and threw our hooks in. We were the only fishermen of the lake, and it was just wham, 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 one bite at one fish after another. My job was to take the fish off the hook, put them on the stringer, hang them over the edge of the boat. It's the first time in my life, only time actually, I ever caught a fish with no bait on my hook. My hook fell in the water by itself, nothing on it. A fish took it. I pulled it in. It was just amazing. And about 10 o'clock, my dad said, "You know, Bobby, we're not going to be able to carry any more fish out of here, you and I. We can't carry any more. We won't be able to do it. So why don't we have our sandwiches, and then we'll head on out." And my nose was starting to burn, so I said, "Well, that's fine. We can do that." So I reached for the fish that were hanging on the edge of the boat. They were gone. Somewhere in that deep lake, 20 fish swam unusually close. And my heart was just broken, and I prayed, "Oh, God, please, can't you help us find those fish? And if you do, I'll give you my allowance. Okay, I'll be a missionary." Wasn't going to happen. My dad started rowing in, and I threw in my line with my bobber there, just thinking maybe a miracle muskie would make up for the loss, but it didn't happen. Instead, my bobber got caught on some lily pads, and I couldn't get it off, so my dad had to row back, and he had to pull it, and he ripped those lily pads out and threw them off to the side, and I reeled it in, and on the end of my hook, I had caught the entire stringer of fish. So. A miracle at Stinky Bay. So. And then 11 years later, my wife and I spent our first year of marriage doing missionary work in the Congo. So I didn't feel particularly called to the work, but I felt heavily obligated at that point. And this book has a CD in the back as well with this story and 5 other family stories. So again, I just want to let people know they're out there. They'll be over there in a table if you're interested afterwards. I don't need to say anything more about that, so except the price. I probably should tell you about the pricing here briefly. This DVD is $20, and this DVD is $20. But tonight, if you buy them both, they're $20. People find this confusing. Say, what if I only want one? It's 20. And if I get both of them, it's 20. And this is 20, and this is actually worth it. So, just so you know. I'll let you know that. So, any more about that? So. You've probably been, just real briefly, Don, you've probably been to Christian concerts where the artist will stand up and sing like 2 or 3 songs, and then they'll talk about their stuff for 5 minutes, and I decided early in my career I will not do that. I simply want people to know they're available. If you want them, I'll be out there by that table. You won't be able to miss me because I will make eye contact with each and every one of you as you leave today. Here's the point. Here's the point, huh? You know what the right thing to do is.